All right. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. And I am playing some All Pro Football 2K8. So let's go ahead and get started. Through the season mode, the coach of the Little Rock Cobras. Playing against the Arizona Scorpions, by the way. Right. Should be a fun game. This game came out a while ago, actually. Let's go ahead and kick. Yeah, we're gonna like to receive the ball in the second half, actually. We kick it off to start the first half. And we gave up a pretty. Arizona got a pretty good run on that, I'll admit. Let's do key zone. We're 1-0 so far. 1 win, 0 losses, 0 ties. We've only played one game, though, in the season mode. A good sack. Let's do twist right, and then let's do 4-4 weak fire 0. So they use real former, and this game uses real former NFL players, but fictional teams. They use real former professional football players, I should say. Third and 22, actually. Ooh, that was another big sack. So Ed Jones has 2.5 sacks now. It's a punt return. 4th and 25 for the Scorpions. Will they win? We'll see. Rocket Ismail, the former standout wide receiver from the University of Notre Dame. Let's go ahead and run strong ISO. About 50x speed over. That's the play we're going to run. So we get it to Rocket Ismail. Let's do strong sweep, actually. Yeah. No gain there. So 90x shell across. Ah, shoot, that's going to be incomplete. Oh, stop. So it was right off the helmet of one of the I think it was right off the helmet of one of the defenders. Fortunately, that's not going to be enough for a first down. Kick it, it'll be a 55-yarder, but I'm not very good at kicking. Ah, shoot. That's just terrible. Let's do nickel, and then we can do twist left and too hard as the play. Second and fall. Second and 4. So let's do dime pinch and force sky. Excuse me for yawning so much. Sorry about that. As we get a sack there. If I ever say anything offensive, I do apologize. So, Julius McCarthy was the one we got a sack with. Let's do 4-4 again. Twist right, and then 4-4 weak fire 0. Oh, that's a nice way to break up the pass, but it's kind of dangerous as well because the wide receiver could still have gotten it off the tip. Don't know. I know I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but I don't know if the video I mentioned on was where I had the mic off or on, and I thought I had the mic on. But I begin a job on Monday. It's going to be from 8 to 4:30. So chances are I'm probably going to stream, before I actually go out. So excuse me. It's 8 to 4:30 on Monday actually. Monday through Friday is when I work. 50x corner post. Third and 9, so we were sacked there. Straight and then strong flood. Got it to Doris, that's good. Demetrius Doris. About 50x curl and go is the pass play. Ah, shoot, that's incomplete. Double cross. Alright, we picked up 9 yards. They're not quite a first down, but we were pretty close. Able to rush for a near first down with Sammy Baugh, who played in the NFL in the 40s. So, roughly 80 years ago he played. Don't I know he played in the 40s, I just don't remember what years he played. So I know he played in the 40s. It'd be cool to watch like a game from back then online. You know, a re-upload of like an NFL game that was played in like the 40s. So no, TV was around the 1920s, but it wasn't common. As early as the 20s it was, but you know, it wasn't, again, it wasn't really common. Did I gain positive yards on that? Yes, I did. I'd imagine by the 70s, you know, it was in like common amongst the households. I don't know about like the 40s and 50s, it would like would really start to pick up. But it didn't like become like easy to own, I'd imagine, until like the 70s. Although I wouldn't know about the history of television. So I do know photography was invented in the 1820s. Film, you know, like movies and stuff were invented in 1888. The first picture was invented in 1826, actually. So like television wasn't really. I don't think would. I may be common in the 50s and 60s, but you know, have to look up and see. We are sacked there, unfortunately. Rulon Jones, the defensive end for the Scorpions, was able to sack me there, so. Got it to Ismail. That's good. Let's do Flood Red. Okay, so he was out of bounds when he caught the ball, thankfully. Because if he had caught the ball, you know, when he was inbounds, and then went out of bounds, we would have lost yards. Oh, fumble. I may challenge that because it looked like he didn't have possession. Yeah, let's challenge that. I'm not entirely convinced he had possession. So let's see. This all happened a little too quickly, so I'm not entirely convinced. Yes! So granted it's 3rd and 10. That's the downside. The upside is we have possession and they don't. So we can kick a field goal now. So Uh, too far to the right, so. Oh, great. Now I should have actually, we tackled it. If we hadn't challenged the play, they would have been on the 5 yard line, so. Call maybe coming back to haunt us. We'll see. We'll see. Let's do fan, and then let's do 44 man one. Yep, this call. Oh man, I wonder if they would. Looks like I shouldn't have overturned it, or shouldn't have challenged the play. So that, or I should have gone for a fourth down because I'm not very good at kicking. But I still believe we can win. They have an actual brand in this game, Duracell, and 2K Sports. But to be fair, I'd expect 2K Sports to be in this game considering they made the game, so. Out of bounds there, but that's okay. Let's go with eye jokers and a weak ISO. We ran with Abner Haynes on that play, so. It was a pickup of one, though. I really wish there was a play action in this game, play action calls in this game. It's fun. This game is fun though. It's not as janky as you know, BC Facts, which in itself is a good game. Oh, we're sacked there. We're sacked. So, but it's not as fluid. The mode isn't as fluid as like Madden. If that makes any sense. Thankfully, it's not like college football where it's considered we're gonna have to punt now. But when you get sacked, it's not considered negative rushing yards. Is that the punter that made the tackle? It was a good punt return by the Scorpions, so I think we may actually lose. No, it was not the punter, Ellis. I know it was Blair who made the tackle, so. Oh well. Just a pinch. Key zone. Too Tall Jones. Yeah, I remember reading that, online a while back that was his nickname. Cool nickname, if I'm being honest. Too tall. It's like 6'8", 6'9", I think, around that height. So he is taller than me. I'm around 5'9", 5'10". So he's roughly a foot taller than me. So yeah. I need to plug in my. Oh, I thought it was plugged in properly. The charger. Now it's plugged in. I am streaming on my laptop, and I actually wasn't plugged in properly, so I had to. I thought it was plugged in, but the charger wasn't in properly, so. Oh, and they are gonna make it, unfortunately for us. 42-yard field goal. Wesley Graham, the kicker. So if you're an American football fan, who is your favorite player, and who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite active player, and who's your all-time favorite player? Say all-time, I'd probably have to choose Rob Gronkowski as my favorite all-time. Don't really have a favorite active player right now. I know the draft will be on later today. It's April 24th, 2025 at the time of this live stream, 12 or 8 p.m. So the draft will begin in like 6 or 7 hours at the time of this live stream. I'm probably going to upload it later today, if not tomorrow. So, depending on when I'll upload this, the draft may have already started, may have already be ongoing by the time you see this. Who knows? It may have been completed by the time. It may be the 2025 draft may be completed by the time you see this. So, wonder if anyone will be considered a bust. You don't really want any players to be considered a bust, but it is possible that you have a player that'll be considered a draft bust. I can think of some examples in the past. I know Jamarcus Russell went number 1 overall to the Raiders, and he's considered a bust. Lawrence Phillips is another. Andre Ware, I think, is one. But that's more so, I think, due to the fact that maybe, like, if I remember correctly, it's like he where he was drafted didn't fit his style of play. So I know Jamarcus Russell is a mixture of not getting the right support system, as well as his work ethic as well played a factor in it. From when I listen to, when I hear all the stories, and him talk about it, I've listened to a podcast about Jamarcus Russell talking, so I know. He says that he didn't have the right, support system in place, and that may be part of the reason why. But I think also part of the reason why is also his work ethic, and he didn't have the right support system. So I know Ryan Leaf is another one. I think it was after his career he unfortunately struggled with addiction, and hopefully now he's in a better place. We're sacked there. So, by all accounts he is, and Fortunately, ran into trouble with the law as well, but hopefully he'll stay out of trouble, and hopefully he can manage to stay clean as well. So we're going to be sacked there. It's 4th and 26. Let's do a hook and go. So we're not going to punt. We really need to score, but try and pass to Armstrong or Lloyd. Fortunately, we're not going to get the first down. Well, there are a variety of reasons why players, in any sport that has a draft will be considered a draft bust. I know in the NBA, Greg Oden, some people, I don't really consider Greg Oden a draft bust because he never really had a chance to showcase his talent. He was injured. I mean, he missed his first year in the league due to knee surgery. And that'll hurt anyone. That kind of surgery will hinder anyone's ability to play professional basketball. So, I'm not going to hold his injuries against him on that. So, but when he was healthy, he was actually a very, very good player. He could be, if injuries hadn't gone in his way, he could have actually maybe been like a legendary defensive player. Arguably a good defensive player of the year candidate. I know Brandon Roy struggled with injuries as well. He played a handful of seasons, but well, yeah, it's really a shame that Greg Oden is considered a bust because injuries really prevented him from showcasing his talent, let alone just allowing him to play at his best. Anthony Bennett really just struggled to stay in the league. He's another number 1 overall draft pick, so. Hasheem Thabeet as well, who went number 2 overall, really struggled in the league. Played from 2009 to 2014, I believe. I remember when he played at UConn for the Huskies. Still remember that year in college basketball. We went a little too far to the left, so. Remember, it was around that year, like between 2007 and 2010, that I remember watching, college basketball a ton. I still do. But, I remember that in the original Big East Conference, there was a tournament game. I think it was like a quarterfinal game. I want to say between Syracuse and Georgetown, but I could be wrong. I know it was the Big East, though. And it went to like 7 or 8 overtimes. So they played like till 2, 3 in the morning. So that must have been tiring. Can't imagine. Because a normal college basketball game is 40 minutes. Then you have overtime, which is 5 minutes. And to play, it's essentially around, if you add up all the overtimes, essentially around 2 games or close to 2 games of college basketball decided in, with 40-minute games, so it'll be an extra at least 35 to 40 minutes, so. It would have been 75, 80 minutes, which would have been equivalent to, under a normal non-overtime game, it would have been equivalent to 2 close to 2 college basketball games full. If it was like 7 overtimes, equal to 2. You know, if it went 80 minutes for a single game. If that makes any sense. I'm not sure it does. Haynes is going to lose yards, so shit. Pardon my language. Let's go 50 speed over. He picked up yards there. I'm still gonna go for it because I'm not very good at kicking. I need to practice kicking, off, after this game. So, fortunately, I was 4th down. Wasn't Sammy Ball like? I know he played in the age of like a two-way play, when two-way players in American football were more common. So I want to say like he played like maybe punter and defensive back as well. Like nowadays, you don't really see people playing regularly on two-way, on offense or defense. I know Travis Hunter, who is going to be is expected to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL, is a two-way player. But, that's not really common in the NFL anymore. I know in like indoor American football it's common, but in like the NFL level and Canadian football it's not really common. You don't really see people playing at like, special teams and like offense or defense as well. That's rare to see them to like you'll have like wide receivers and like halfbacks and like cornerbacks as like punt returners and kick returners, but they don't like it's you don't regularly see like the star wide receiver as a punt returner at I guess it's more common to see someone on offense and defense play semi regularly and play special teams, but it's not like offense and defense. Someone playing on offense and defense. That's like a Travis Hunter or a Deion Sanders. That's not common. So yeah. At least at the NFL level, it's not common anymore. It wasn't like up until maybe like the 40s or 50s in the NFL. The one platoon system, as they called it. So honestly, if I were to play American football again, I would much rather be like a kicker or punter because they get hit the least. That's if I was playing because I wouldn't like to play offense. Woodyard with the interception. That's good. Go 90x slant. Shit, we lost the yard there. Lob X or 90x lob fade. Remember the other day in one of my videos, I was talking about shows I like. I just remember when I saw I Spread Jokers. I remember, whenever I go to the bar, a local well, it's a national company, but they have one in my city, and you know, they always have like a TV on, and if it's not sports, that they have on, it's TBS, and they'll have like Impractical Jokers. And I haven't actually sat down and looked at an Impractical Jokers episode on my own at home, but I do like from what I've seen, I do like the show. It's a good show. Funny. I always admire people who, go out there, for other people's entertainment, and just making a fool of themselves. They're they go out there to make other people laugh, and as long as it's not like inconveniencing anyone or just harassing people or hurting anyone, I don't mind, stuff like that. But if like you're harassing people or like hurting people, that's where like pranks stop being fun, in my opinion. Like where it could hurt people as well. So that's those kind of pranks aren't really funny. Where you're just harassing people or hurting people. Those aren't, or the potential to hurt people. We're sacked there. Like when it's done malicious, it's like when a prank or a joke is done maliciously, then I don't enjoy it. Oh shoot, shoot. We're not gonna win this game. I don't think we're gonna win this game. That sack really hurt me. Like I can see without my glasses, but it's like, you know, for the most part, if like someone to hide my glasses as a joke, I don't mind. But if it's like, I'm going out to drive or like I'm in the car in traffic, you're in the car and I go to the grocery store or something, or I'm in the parking lot. I need my glasses to drive. You know, then it becomes annoying and an inconvenience. Then I wouldn't like it. But if it's like I'm at home, and I need my glasses and someone's hiding them just as a prank, and I mean, need to read or watch TV, then I don't mind. Right? We are going to receive the kick. 50 wide corner is going to be the play we're going to call. And number 64 just gave up blocking Clinton Smith. Like, does he know he gets paid to block? It's always annoying when you're playing football games and they just give up. Your linemen give up on blocking. At least we got the first down there. So I think last play, when I was actually at the goal line, I probably should have ran it instead of passed. So that was my mistake. When I got sacked on third down. Well, we do have a chance to score here. So I can't go back and change the fact that I didn't run on, like 3rd and goal right at the end zone. Gonna be a penalty on the play. Hopefully it's not holding, or he was further downfield when he needed to be, but hopefully it'll be like defensive pass interference or something. Nope, ineligible player downfield. So what was the left guard? What's the left guard doing downfield? On a passing play. If it's a run play, I don't mind, but I understand, because you can basically just essentially you could be on your own 1 yard line and block the other player to the end zone, but on a passing play you can't really go forward. So 4th and inches, you can run. Fortunately, there's no QB sneak, but at least I know my fullback was gonna. I'm more confident in my fullback than my lineman, that I knew that they were actually going to in terms of blocking. So that's kind of bad when you don't trust your lineman. Another first down, which is good. Number 84, Drayton caught that. So let's do 50x corner post. Weak dive. At least make 3rd down manageable. If we pass and don't make it, it'll be 3rd and 10. But if we run and don't get the first down, 3rd down will be manageable like it is now. 3rd and inches, so we'll just need a yard to pick up the first down. If you can't make it to the end zone on that play, at least you want to at least gain a first down. Make the distance between you and the end zone a bit closer. If I were to play on offense, I'd like to play as quarterback. Or a defense, I'd like to play as like a lineman, defensive lineman. So I did actually play a season of high school football, part of a season, and I was a defensive lineman, so that was fun. But I was also an offensive lineman as well, and I didn't actually mind playing offensive lineman. Actually enjoyed it, but no, shoot. Oh man. Ah, shoot, I can't believe. Sorry for showing my stomach, but I can't believe we actually got an incomplete. I thought that was gonna. I played mainly left tackle, actually. I did try to play center in practice one time, but I was not very good at it, and I did not enjoy it. So That's like the only position on offense I did not enjoy. If I were to play again. The amount of concussions and head trauma, I would not want to. By that, so. Sort of glad I didn't play it more than 2 years. I played in like the 7th grade, and then I played, junior varsity and varsity in the 9th grade. Just because I went to a really small school. Oh, that's going to be a first down, unfortunately. I don't mind playing baseball, though. I kind of wish I did growing up. Would have loved to have been a pitcher. I would have been a left-handed pitcher. I know left-handed. It's because I'm left-handed, so I know left-handed catchers are rare. So I would not have been a catcher. Nor would I have been a good catcher. I would have, wouldn't have mind playing outfield growing up, but I would have gone, wasn't that in shape, so I would have gone out of breath. So I probably would have played in the infield, like the baseman or pitcher, if I wasn't pitching. Oh, we need to pull up a stop. I need to pull up a do deep zone and then force guy. And in basketball, whenever I was playing basketball in like middle school and elementary school, I was like a power forward and center. Because at the time I was one of the tall kids for my age, but I ended up with an average height in the long run. So ice hockey, I would have loved to play like a wing or a goalie. In soccer, I would have loved to have been like a goalie as well, but if I were to try out for a team, I'd just end up being too short to play goalie. And I'm too fat to play striker. Only played volleyball in gym class and I enjoyed it. It's like they weren't really like a guys volleyball team, but when I did play volleyball in gym class, I did enjoy it. I was not very good at sports, but actually in basketball, when I did play, not in middle school, but I did play a lot in like gym. The school I attended, you could like play different sports and they'd like play different, we'd play like basketball a lot in gym class, but my school was too small to have a basketball team, and I did end up actually getting pretty decent at shooting. So wasn't like Steph Curry or anything, but I was pretty decent. There we go. We finally got a first down. Remember, actually, I was pretty much the only left-handed person in my gym class, and left-footed. I know that's like in sports, like that's pretty common, but in like society, it's not. I find that strange. Like 10% of the population is like left-handed, but like as many as like 50% of athletes, depending on the sport, could be like left-handed and left-footed. So like I think like there are a lot of left-handed pitchers at the major league level. I know there aren't very many. I don't think there are any left-footed punters in the NFL right now. I could be wrong. Remember, David Akers was a left-footed kicker, and Tim Tebow was a former quarterback. He was left-handed, and Tua Tagliafilia, I think that's it. I always mispronounce his name. I'm sorry. But Tua is a left-handed quarterback. And then basketball players, you can see a lot of lefties as well. And boxing, I know. Actually, in combat sports, it's that being a left-handed, being the southpaw, is actually an advantage because most combat fighters are so used to fighting right-handed that they're not used to fighting lefties. So unique advantage. It's gonna be fourth down. As a first baseman, lefties are rare as well, but there are left-handed. There have been left-handed catchers and left-handed first basemen, but I think there have been more left-handed first basemen than left-handed catchers in MLB history. You know, I bat. I did play baseball at once in gym class one year, and I wasn't very good at it. It was it was more so softball than baseball, but softball in terms of it's just the only thing that's mainly different is like the size of the ball in the field and the way you pitch. But I wasn't like a power hitter, but I was fairly decent at making contact. But in terms of actually getting hits and actually playing, I was awful. And I did at least attempt to make attempt at least at bat from either side. And one thing I noticed was that in terms of the left side, I was actually better at power hitting, but on the right side, I was like better at making contact. But overall, I was pretty awful. I'm not a good baseball player. I'm just not coordinated enough to swing a bat. I actually played it twice, actually, in gym class, but I know I'm not very good at. That's one sport I wish I was. I wish I played, and I wish I was good at, but I was not very. I wasn't, growing up, and still now to an extent, I'm not very coordinated enough. I suppose baseball is like one of those sports where you're just terrible at first, but if you practice a ton, anyone can be good at it. It's not like, it's not like some other sports where you have to be like, it's not like American football where you could be like a good free safety, but a bad quarterback, or a good quarterback and an awful kicker or something like that, where it's so specialized. Do 50x curl and go. Ah, shoot, we were sacked there. I was about to. I actually hit B to throw just as I got sacked, but unfortunately there wasn't just enough time to get it out. So the only way we're probably going to prevent them from scoring is to get a turnover on first, second, or third down. Yeah, I was a horrible baseball player. I doubt we're going to be getting a. I doubt we're going to be blocking a field goal, and they're not going to punt. It's unlikely we'll get a fumble. I can live with a field goal. I just would rather not give up a touchdown. And what do? We give up a first down, so that's unfortunate. It's the end of the third quarter, so now with a field goal, it's still a one possession game. Now, if it's a touchdown, it's back to a two possession game. So I'd rather not give up a touchdown. So it's 6 points for if they get a field goal. It's going to be a 6 point lead. So either 9 or 10, depending on if they make the extra point. If they get a touchdown, so. Just in case they're thinking about running. Thankfully, he was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Let's do pinch, and then Blaze twist 0. I had my chance to at least win the game, so I'm gonna be frustrated with myself if we don't win, but so as long as they don't fake it, we'll be good. So we need to get a touchdown and an extra point if we actually I was gonna say if they don't field goal it, if they don't fake the field goal. All right. Touchdown and extra point is what we need to take the lead. It'll be a 1 point lead, but after that we'll still have the lead, and we'll need to play some good defense, not allow them to score. Let's go 50 Zigo. I know that sure, we're gonna be sacked there. That's unfortunate. So, let's do a gun, and then 50x opposite flow. Come on. I thought he was going to catch that. He was like bobbling it for a second, so. Rather not go for it on fourth down here. So, especially if, to get there we completed the pass, because if it was like a short gain or no, gain or like an incomplete pass, I would have punted because I would not want to have actually went for it on fourth down and failed. Thick Pen caught it, thankfully. We'll run it on third down if we're third and one if it's an incomplete pass. But I could also run here with Sammy Baugh. So fortunately we were able to run for a first down. That's going to be incomplete. So let's actually run with weak dive. Pick up a first down if possible. Third and 6. "90 slants and stops." So I will actually have to go for it if we don't get the first down here, which we won't. So I don't mind running now. Actually, on fourth and 2, it's kind of dangerous, but you know. It's a good thing they didn't blitz. I think what I'll do is definitely I will try to run down the clock as well. And trying my best to get a touchdown. So that way, if we do score, sorry for yawning. If we do score, they'll have as little time as possible to score. Strong ISO. The Canadian Football League season should be starting soon. So hopefully Toronto will win the Grey Cup again. I know they won it last year, but hoping they'll win it this year. If I had to choose a team to support, it'd be Toronto. Third and 3, so let's go with weekly draw. So not sure if we'll lose yards here on this play, but so we're gonna go ahead and just hand it off. Oh shoot! It's a penalty. Ooh, clipping. I didn't even bother to read it. Nope. Sure. So I'm guessing they accepted it though. Yes. Granted, we have less than 7 minutes, or a little less than 8 minutes actually. But it's not like they have like 13, 14 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So as long as I don't mess up this kick, it'll be good. Thankfully, I didn't. I'm gonna get a quick drink, really quick, because I'm thirsty. Do a stretch as well. I'm gonna drink some Diet Cheer wine as well. If you've never had it, I definitely recommend it. actually. It's a very good drink. It's a diet soda. I know soda's not the healthiest, but let's resume. So, I've been to Arizona and I've been to Little Rock. Both decent places, you know. Been to Phoenix, Arizona. Also, you know, went on a bus tour to the Grand Canyon. I went in like 2019, I believe, so. Unless it's changed since then, there were like little to no railings, if there were any railings at all, to protect people from falling off, you know, into the Grand Canyon. So if you do go, if it hasn't changed since then, and you go to the Grand Canyon, be safe and don't fall. Because you could fall to, it's unfortunate, but you could fall to your death in the Grand Canyon, so. So a little heads up, really don't get close at all to the edge. So yeah. Ah, thankfully that's incomplete. Been to the Statue of Liberty and it's shorter than I thought it would be. It always looks taller in the movies than it does in real life. Yeah, so the Eiffel Tower's much more wider in real life, but it's shorter as well. I've been to the Eiffel Tower in France. And to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which also is a bit shorter than I thought it would be. Weak full back dive is the play we're gonna run. Alright. Strong ISO now. Gonna run down the clock as much as possible. Ah, dang it, we lost the yard there. Strong ISO is the play we're gonna run. On fourth down, I'll pass. Well, it depends on where we are on fourth down, so. It's like 4th and 25, I'm obviously gonna punt. I'm gonna punt. I have enough trust in my defense to actually, we got that off just in time. Terrible punt though, but shoot, we gave up a good run there. 9 yards. So they are at the 50-yard line. Let's push them back. Let's get a tackle for loss or sack. This will be my only game of the stream, by the way. I'm going to be playing against Arizona. There are other games I want to play in a bit after this, but... Ooh, excuse me for burping. And unfortunately, it's a first down. Please twist 0. Sorry for showing any offensive names and logos, by the way. I definitely do not want them to, have the ball towards the end of the game and, to run down time and score, so... While there's still enough time for them to score, I'm not sure if they score there'll be enough time for us. Because of my skill level in this game. What's the penalty? Let's decline so it'll be third down. Yes, they'll have fewer yards to go, but they'll also have fewer downs to actually get it. They'll have fewer attempts to get a first down as well, so... There we go. We got the sack. So they still end up losing 5 yards, but they're lucky. In a way, they're lucky because and we're lucky too. So they're lucky in the sense that they had less yards to work with instead of more. But we're also lucky that we had fewer downs to prevent them from getting a first down. So I don't know if that made any sense, but it did in my head. So it's gonna be the 2-minute warning now. It's a good run. Timeout by Arizona as well, so I'm going to do a weak fullback dive. Have them use their last 2 timeouts. They just need one more timeout, and if we get a first down, that'll be good. Alright, sweet. So they have no more timeouts left. So we're going to switch formations after this, but we're going to go ahead and have them... going to go ahead and just use the this formation and to get the clock moving at least. So far, so good. Looks like we'll escape with a victory here. No, I wasn't exactly a good player, but you know, part of that was just stupid decisions. Another part was, you know, I guess bad luck. So we should have, yeah, that'll be good. I mean, so long as we don't call the play here, you know, which we didn't. Thankfully, we won the game by 1 point. So we got incredibly lucky there. So let's go to statistics, player statistics. So yeah. I'm gonna hop off, y'all. Be back in a bit.